Let's run through some setup so that we can get the quick access toolbar, which is these functions, up and running, and also some of the annotations that you'd want to use on the maps. So you launch your studio software. The first thing we want to do is select, if you've got a map in, select tangential curvature and set the scaling to standard for tangential. Normalized is not generally appropriate with tangential. It's too extreme a range, and it would extend this to pick the extremely flat spots or extremely high spots on the map that could be artifacts around the edge. So with tangential, we're going to stick to using standard curvature. You then want to select axial and select, this is where we do want to use normalized. So normalized, and this way when you flick between tangential and axial, the scales will automatically do that. But if you get mixed up, then you always just go back into the scale function here. How do we get these functions? So this is, if we go into view, you can see that we've got some useful information. So the details tab tells us about the patient and which eye it is. It allows us to, if we wanted, if we select a map in the wrong eye, we can change it and save it. And you can move it from one eye to the other. So this is useful. We've also got our single image view, and then we've got our subtractive, our comparison view. So these are tucked away under view, so it's nice to move them up here. So all you do is right click on the icon and then say add to quick access toolbar, and just go along and add each one of these to the quick access toolbar, and that way you'll be able to add them at the top. Having some useful functions here, so when we go in and we annotate a map with the iris or with the contact lens optic zone tool for treatment zone anticipation, we want to get information on these in this box here. So how do we do that? If you select the attributes tab with the little arrow on it, you'll see you've got all of the attributes that you can select, and you can just move them from this column into this column. So the attributes that I use regularly are sag difference at 8 millimeters, which is just interesting to see the toricity of the cornea that you're looking at. I use the contact lens displacement and the contact lens angle. The displacement is going to give me the millimeters that the contact lens optic zone tool suggests that the treatment zone is going to form on. We've got the iris, well, we've got HVID, and then the iris center X goes with that. So in other words, where is the middle of the iris in comparison to the visual axis? So in this case, we've got 0.2. And you can move these around, so I'm just going to move that up so that it's beside the iris, because the two things go hand in hand. W04, there's another video on that in the topography tips series on the Scotland's YouTube channel. W04 is the spheric aberration, which you need to change away from scientific format to get into this. And that can be something you look at from the point of view of myopia control, myopia management. And the last one that I find quite useful is the age-fin testing. So that's just a short list of some useful functions. There's lots more and very specific ones, which you can just move back and forward. That then gives us the basic view assessment. So when we're doing our single maps, we get the information we need. When we're doing our review maps, we get the information we need.